Today we're diving headfirst into Zootopia 2, and trust me, this sequel doesn't even warm up. It just slams straight into the action. No slow build, no gentle intro, just chaos from minute one. It opens with a villain casually bragging to Judy Hopps and Nick Wilde like she's giving them a TED talk about crime. She's proud of everything, framing innocent animals, faking evidence, twisting laws, running secret operations, basically treating Zootopia like her personal playground. And just when she thinks she's flexing on Judy for the last time, Judy lifts her little paw with that smug, gotcha, smile, and shows her the famous carrot-shaped recorder, which captured her entire villain speech. The look on that criminal's face? Priceless. Case closed. Then the news blasts across every screen in the city, giving Judy Hopps and Nick Wilde all the credit for exposing Mayor Bellwether's big conspiracy using that same carrot band. Nick, who used to be a sneaky street fox with nothing but hustle, gets officially invited to join the ZPD, and suddenly the city has its first Bunny Fox police duo ever. Cut to today. At the station, Chief Bogo gathers the entire squad for the morning briefing. On today's wanted list, a shady customs inspector smuggling illegal cargo through the shipyard. Bogo gives out assignments like a drill sergeant. Everyone gets a job except Judy and Nick. He tells them to just watch and learn how real veteran cops handle big cases. No hero moves, no chasing trouble, just observe. But right in the middle of the speech, Bogo realizes the room is missing two very important mammals. Clawhauser bursts in, sweating sprinkles and panic, yelling that Judy and Nick just took off and oh yeah, they're already chasing the criminal by themselves. Cut to the shipyard. Judy and Nick show up disguised as a cute married couple with a super fake baby in a stroller. Their target, Inspector Snitley, tells them to leave immediately. But Nick, smooth as butter, smiles and tells him the baby's greatest birthday wish is for the legendary shipyard inspector to autograph its little onesie. Snitley falls for it. Completely. While he's distracted, Judy sneaks off and pops open a shipping container, hoping to catch him smuggling illegal reptiles. And just as she's prying it open, someone shouts through her earpiece telling her to stop. Backup is coming. But she's already in too deep. Snootly figures out the whole act and bolts into his van. Nick and Judy dive into the nearest car and the chase starts. Not a normal chase. Judy drives like she's playing bumper cars with the city chase. She mows down sidewalks, knocks over half the shipyard, and even destroys a giant statue of Zootopia's founder. Total mayhem. They catch Snootly eventually, but Judy notices something slithering away. Something that looks a lot like a snake. She even finds shed scales on the ground. Later, while they're waiting outside Bogo's office, Judy watches a podcast explaining that reptiles, especially snakes, were banned from Zootopia 150 years ago. No one's seen one since. Then Bogo storms out and completely erupts on them. The damage. The disobedience. The unnecessary chase. Judy tries to talk about the scales she found, but Bogo shuts her down. One more slip-up, he says, and he'll break their partnership apart forever. Their new assignment? Couples therapy. Yeah, actual couples therapy. They get stuck with Dr. Fuseby, a therapist who's basically a walking emotional microscope. He tells Judy she always takes control without asking Nick, and he tells Nick that he's so scared of messing up he keeps pulling away. Both get irritated, but deep down, they know they have to fix this or lose the partnership they fought so hard to build. And back at the station, everyone laughs at them. Judy and Nick, the therapy kids of the ZPD. Nick goes home and does absolutely nothing productive. Judy goes home and immediately gets cornered by her non-stop talking parents on a video call. She escapes the call and tries to study their case notes, but ends up zoning out and watching the news. That's when she sees a van parked in the background of the fancy Linksley family gala that looks exactly like Snootly's smuggling van. The idea slams into her. The Linksleys might be involved. Maybe reptiles really are being smuggled into Zootopia. She calls Nick and lays out the whole theory. At first, he's like, Judy, chill. Reptiles haven't been around in forever. But then he thinks, if they solve a real case, maybe the whole department will finally take them seriously. So he suits up and joins her. They sneak into the glamorous Linksley gala looking clean, polished, and way fancier than usual. Judy heads toward the room that holds the Linksley family journal, their prized possession. Along the way, she bumps into Paubert Linksley, the youngest son, who instantly thinks she's cool and starts talking to her. Meanwhile, Nick finds more of those reptile scales and even spots a hooded figure creeping around. Before he can warn Judy, Chief Bogo appears out of nowhere and catches him in the middle of spying. Then the hooded figure finally shows his face, Gary. A real snake. The gala erupts in chaos. Everyone screams and runs as Gary lunges forward, grabs Milton Linksley, the family patriarch, and steals the journal. Judy bolts after him through the mansion. When Gary tries scanning Milton's eye to open the journal, Judy corners him and begs him not to harm anyone. Gary breaks down and says reptiles never hurt anyone. They weren't the monsters. Milton was the one who ruined everything. The journal is their only proof, the only chance reptiles have to return home. And then Nick crashes in and knocks Gary out cold with a frying pan. He has absolutely no idea he just ruined everything. Milton's kids rush in, and Milton himself orders them to kill Gary on the spot. Then he threatens Judy and Nick, telling them they better lie in their report and say the snake attacked them. Judy moves fast. She starts a small fire as a distraction, forcing the Linksleys back so she and Nick can get Gary out alive. They shove Gary through a window, and a mysterious biker zooms in, grabs him, and disappears. Judy and Nick snag the journal and escape. Suddenly, Mr. Big appears, except now he runs a clothing business with his granddaughter Fufufu, so he can spend more time with her. He offers them fake passports so they can flee the city before the Linksleys wipe them out. But Judy refuses. She's determined to save Gary and prove who the real villains are. Mr. Big warns her that the Linksleys practically built half the city, including the massive weather pillars, and crossing them is almost impossible. Nick wants to run. Judy doesn't. Nick sighs, frustrated but loyal, and decides to follow her plan. With Fufufu guiding them, they track down podcaster Nibbles Maplestick, a conspiracy journalist who's been ranting for years that reptiles still exist. He takes them to Marsh Market, Zootopia's poorest district, a place the Linksleys are planning to wipe off the map. Inside an old sunken ship, Judy and Nick find a reptile hideout. They meet Jesus, the chaotic, chill reptile leader who acts like nothing surprises him anymore. He refuses to help unless they eat his weird reptile food. They reluctantly take a bite, and he bursts out laughing, revealing he was just messing with them. Jesus checks out the metal-covered journal and says there's a hidden message built into the front, but only reptile eyes can read it. Before he can continue, the ZPD storms Marsh Market with full SWAT energy. Judy and Nick bolt. Jesus shoves them onto a small boat and tells them he's helping because they once saved the city. Maybe this time they'll save reptiles too. Suddenly Gary shows up, steals the journal again, and takes off. Judy and Nick chase him through the tunnels while the ZPD chases them. They dive into an underwater passageway, but can't hold their breath long enough and surface again. Somewhere between Marsh Market and the mountain region, Nick finally snaps. He tells Judy they're risking their lives again because she can't slow down and think. Two random goat hikers show up and guide them toward an old reptile escape cabin on the mountain. While climbing, Nick jokingly grabs Judy's carrot recorder and starts messing with it. She tries to grab it back. They argue, it slips, and shatters on the rocks below. Judy goes completely quiet. What neither of them knows is that the ZPD has been tracking their every move, and they're closing in fast. Nick spots officers sneaking up on them and warns Judy. He admits he doesn't even care about the case anymore. Judy just says quietly that maybe they're too different to work together. Right then, tranquilizer darts fly. Judy gets hit and collapses. Before the officers can reach her, Gary and Paubert suddenly swoop down and grab her, rescuing her at the last second. Nick gets dragged away in cuffs. He refuses to say anything about where Judy is hiding. Then Milton shows up, smirking, and tells Nick it's over, before ordering the officers to haul him off to a darker place. Judy wakes up with Gary and Paubert. They finally tell her the truth. Zootopia wasn't built by mammals. It was founded by reptiles, including Gary's great-great-grandmother. But their reptile ancestors were betrayed by Ebenezer, a mammal leader who expelled them and paved over their homeland. After learning that the last real traces of the reptile settlement and the truth about the original founders of Zootopia are hidden deep inside Tundra Town, Judy, Gary, and Paubert head out with no time to spare. This isn't just some regular police chase anymore. This is about rewriting the entire history of their city. Meanwhile, Nick is stuck behind bars. His cell sits right across from Nibbles, who's staring at him like she can read every thought behind his eyes. She gently pushes him to talk about why he backed out earlier and why he keeps acting like Judy's weight is too much to carry. Nick finally cracks and admits what he's been hiding. He's scared because he actually cares about Judy way more than he's comfortable saying. His whole life, he's never had a real pack, and now that he finally has one, he's terrified of losing it. With Nibbles helping him think straight again, the two manage to pull off a jailbreak, classic Nick style. But right after they slip out, chaos breaks loose. Other inmates follow, including Bellwether, who obviously wastes no time turning the escape into a disaster. The ZPD is all over the place hunting for them, alarms ringing, doors slamming, the whole prison erupting. Nick and Nibbles bolt through the city, desperately trying not to get caught. When things start closing in, Nick makes a last-ditch call to Flash, the world's fastest slow-motion driver. Flash inches toward them with his car, but once he picks them up, you realize he actually can move when it matters. He floors it, blasting away from the police. At the same time, Judy, Gary, and Pa Bert are weaving through Sahara Square, dodging patrols everywhere. The ZPD is dead set on capturing them, pushing the chase harder than ever. The trio sprints straight into the middle of the annual Burning Mammal Festival, with fireworks going off and crowds scattering. Gazelle, along with her dancing tigers, jumps right in to block a group of aggressive zebras, still salty from the disaster at the gala. It's chaotic, loud, and wild, basically Zootopia on turbo mode. Following Clawhauser's whispered guidance over the radio, Flash goes faster than anyone's ever seen him move to get Nick and Nibbles to Judy's position. Meanwhile, Officer Hogbottom is ordered to take the shot and end things for Judy once and for all. She hesitates, knowing it's wrong, but the pressure breaks her, and the dart fires. Right before it strikes Judy, Flash rams his car into the line of fire, saving her and smashing straight through the weather wall surrounding the city. Nick gets thrown out of the vehicle and locked outside the barrier, helpless as everyone else gets pushed deeper inside the stormy, frozen structure. Judy, Gary, and Pa Bert push further upward, heading for the massive weather tower, the only place where they can activate the lighthouse that will expose the abandoned reptile settlement buried under Zootopia. As Nick climbs his way back through broken ice panels, Nibbles shows up again, dragging him away from a scorching heat vent just in time. But right when Judy and Gary are steps away from the top, everything flips. Pa Bert suddenly betrays them. He jabs Judy with a snake venom injector, paralyzing her. Then he grabs Gary and hurls him off the icy edge, like he means absolutely nothing. Pa Bert finally spills the truth. He never cared about the journal or history. He only wanted the founding papers so he could destroy them forever. He's tired of being different, tired of disappointing his father, tired of never being enough. In his mind, if the truth dies, maybe he'll finally be accepted. He leaves Judy freezing and numb in the blizzard with Gary barely clinging to life. Gary, still injured, tells her not to give up and tries to warm her up even as he shakes violently. The antivenom they need is inside Gary's fanny pack, now in Pa Bert's backpack. Meanwhile, Pa Bert ambushes Nibbles on the weather wall and poisons her too before cornering Nick at the very top of the tower. Nick stands his ground, even while weakened and frozen. Down below, Gary suddenly lunges for the fanny pack, climbing up jagged ice like a real survivor. Nick fights Pa Bert long enough to spot him and toss the pack down in his direction, right as the ZPD arrives and chaos erupts again. Gary grabs the antivenom pen and plunges it into Judy, saving her. She gasps back to life, shaking off the paralysis. Without hesitating, she sprints upward to save Nick, who's inches away from falling off the tower. Right after pulling Nick to safety, the two finally stop running and actually talk. Nick admits he's scared of having a real family, a real partner, because losing them would destroy him. Judy admits she's scared too, scared of being seen as weak, scared of never fitting in, scared that trying so hard will never be enough. Finally, they're honest with each other. With Judy revived and Nibbles cured, the whole group spots Pa Bert heading toward the lighthouse, the final switch needed to show Zootopia the truth. Nick and Judy race after him while Gary and Nibbles stay behind to face off against the entire Linksley family. Wind Dancer, who's always been seen as a nervous, gentle giant, finally grows into his moment. With Nibbles hyping him up, he confronts the Linksleys head-on, finally proving he's more than his family ever thought he'd be. Nick and Judy corner Pa Bert at the lighthouse, tackling him through snow, ice, beams, and hanging wires. It's only with Gary and Nibbles arriving at the last second that they overpower Pa Bert and secure the journal once and for all. Inside the lighthouse, they unlock a hidden door leading to the forgotten reptile settlement. Frosty tunnels, frozen houses, ancient carvings, it's all still there. Deep inside Gary's old home, they discover proof that reptiles were the true original founders of Zootopia. Gary's great-great-grandmother built the first settlement long before any mammal arrived. Paubert makes one last desperate attempt to stop them, but Hogbottom shows up and takes him down before he can even lift a paw. She refuses to let her guilt continue, choosing the truth over the Lynxleys' power. The news explodes with the discovery. The Lynxleys are arrested, every shady deal exposed, every lie torn down. Reptiles are officially allowed back into Zootopia for the first time in over a century. And the whole city starts shifting toward unity again. Nick and Judy are fully pardoned and finally embraced as a real team. They start teaching others PD partners how to work together, even when they're total opposites. Back at Gary's family home, Nick surprises Judy with her carrot recorder fixed, shiny, and working like brand new. She smiles like she hasn't smiled in ages. And just like that, without even taking a breath, the two jump straight back into action, chasing after escaped criminals. And of course, the first name on the list? Bellwether. Because peace in Zootopia never lasts long.